And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Planet Crafter. We're about 4% oxygen. I'm trying to think about what do we actually want to build. I think we're actually at the point where we really should be doing exploring. Right, because we don't have a way to do circuit boards. I think the answer to that is actually get more of those little things into code. Which we have to get out of Rex. Yeah, I think that's what we're kind of being held up on. Or getting luckier with more recipes for things to improve our existing stuff. So like the butterfly larva or the tree seed. Like that's not gonna be too long. I think that kind of reinforces the go exploring component. So I think that's what we're gonna go do. Oh, I got an idea for where we're gonna go exploring. Let's get some food to bring with us. So we'll grab the honey. Then we'll grab beans to make some high quality food for the road. And then we can just drink out of puddles at this point. So we're going to go explore that ship area over there. We've already got a sort of a breathing box reasonably close by. And to be fair, the more oxygen, the more terraforming we get, the closer we get to just not needing to go to the breathing box, right? I think I might even have... I don't have a tank of oxygen. Maybe we used that. A little while ago, we did have a tank of oxygen come out of the filtration unit. Could probably craft more oxygen, but not that desperate. Oh, and I suppose if I'm going to do that, I should actually make sure we're full on oxygen before we go in. Oh, and I have a crafting unit there, so I could craft more. We needed it. We're going to get more over long. Climb up. And there is a way down into the ship here. So down we go. Locker, some osmium rods on a blueprint chip. Okay. Okay, not much down here. I was actually expecting there to be more access to the ship, but I'll take some osmium rods. We can't make those yet. We got no use for them yet. But they sound expensive. Some more uranium rod, some more osmium rod. Yeah, that's definitely gonna loot that. Again, no idea what we need the osmium for, but we've got it now. We'll figure that out later, what it's actually useful for. At some point we'll have to do some exploration up there, now that more of it's been opened up by the plants. I suppose we can check, do we have any recipes with the few that need some interesting ingredients? Not really. And I'm not actually that interested in using it because the terrain is maybe not the most conducive to that. Most conducive to riding around on a rocket-powered go-kart. Got the blueprint chip, so let's use the blueprint chip. New blueprint received, vehicle unlimited oxygen. Okay. So that's a little bit more interesting for a vehicle usage, is making the vehicle have oxygen. Oxygen caption, oxygen capsule, or zeolite. Okay. So if I can find 4 cobalt, and we got plenty of zeolite in the base, I'll just grab the 4 zeolite from the base. I mean, we had some just hanging out around some local plants. I went over that way. Yeah. And I just grab 2 from inside the base when we go to make the oxygen. Oh, and my inventory is full. Drink the water to get the water out of the inventory. There's the light. Okay, so in the short term, that is a very interesting upgrade. Says vehicle unlimited oxygen. Oh, I've got to remember. Got to put it in the vehicle first. Doesn't work if you don't put it in the vehicle. There we go. So now if we're in the vehicle, we have oxygen. And what I got for the inventory size? T1, the tier 1 inventory size. Do we have a tier 2 version of that? Yeah. Which requires obsidian, which we actually have now. So if I can make another tier 1, grab them together, slap them together, get more inventory space. We got oxygen on a vehicle we can drive around. I could put a beacon on it so I can figure out where it is if I forget it somewhere. There's the tier 2 tree spreader. Zeolite tier 2 fertilizer. And it is a big improvement on both plants and animals, although it's not from an energy standpoint. It's just doubling. Basically just doubles everything. So two of that is or 2 of the tree is 2 of that one. Although this one doesn't require being placed on a water surface, I can place it anywhere, which also helps a little bit. We'll think about building some of those after I finish upgrading my truck. Upgrading the Rover. Oh, there's the nuclear fusion generator. What does that require? Pulsar super alloy, pulsar super alloy. Okay. So 4 super alloy, which is that's easy. 5 pulsar quartz is a little bit more concerning. Yeah, because we've got 5 in there, so I think we can set like one of them up before I run out of pulsar quartz. I've got another 4 over there. Well, that's a step in the right direction, but that's not enough. Oh, we got equipment and inventory size, equipment size and inventory size, and those are actually different things. So, equipment increase gives me a bunch of slots. Maybe don't need that many slots, but where did my oxygen module go? I think I may have accidentally broke the oxygen module, which would be annoying. The logic being that I took the vehicle equipment increase without digging out first. Unless there wasn't any space in the vehicle for it. Just making sure it didn't, like, clip out of the vehicle or something on the floor. Yeah, it's definitely not working. And it's not in the list of stuff. It didn't, like, clip through the thing, so... Yeah, oh, there it is. It's, like, floating. There we go. Okay. Then we need one of the inventory size upgrade, so I need to make that. Although in the meantime, we're making the beacon. So in theory, if we're far away from it, we can see where it is. And I'll need a super alloy, and an osmium, and a silicon. Stone. Silicon. Silicon, yes. No E in it. I forgot to grab the osmium. I'll have to go back and grab the osmium. There we go. Now we got a really big chest on the back. Store all the random stuff we want. Think about a tier 2 tree spreader. We're gonna need some bark for that. I'm gonna need some zeolite for that. I'm gonna need a tree seed for that. I think I still have some zeolite without going in and mining some. Yeah. Okay, then I gotta figure out what seed we want to take for it. We have a new type of seed, so that's probably it, assuming I can find the Arima seed. Looks like one big asteroid. Interestingly colored asteroid. Okay, the game is deciding I apparently need pulsar quartz. And it maybe isn't wrong? Basically delivery of, here, have lots of power. Lots of power. It was just 7. It might have just been it. Just the one crash. I was wondering what the weird color was, and the answer is it's pulsar. Pulsar falling from the sky. Okay, then I gotta see if I got that seed. I might not actually have that seed. That's not that seed. Arima plant. Might not have an Arima plant. I'm assuming it's probably better than a Tusca seed. It makes a better tree seed. The next best is the Tusca seed, so I guess we can give up on that and go to the Tusca seed one. So we need a mutagen and Tusca seed. Do you have stuff to turn that into? Almost. It's actually downstairs. butterfly. So it's rare larva, mutagen, fertilizer. How do we guarantee it being the right one? No clue. The game has apparently decided I need more pulsar quartz and is hand delivering another asteroid full of it. Okay, game. I almost wish that the deconstruction tool would actually work on the rocks, so you just deconstruct the rubble. Okay, can't get to that one for the moment. And yeah, that's enough pulsar quartz for another power plant or two, so let's get another power plant up. I don't need the power yet, but future-proofing the power supply doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Worst case scenario is assemble these to take the power pulsar crystals back out of them. So yeah, hopefully I have enough power going forward. Someone wants downstairs. It's not quite done yet, which is fine. Just need to get some bacteria sample. Guess I conveniently have one. The answer to that is no. Tree seed, grab a super alloy, and I can put this bunch of trees wherever I want it. we go. More oxygen. Apparently just sort of 3.5 thousand PPQ. Okay. Grab some more honey. We can turn that all into food. This device does it. Okay. Okay, we can see where our thing is on the map. Now, where to go next? Obviously, don't need power for a moment. We've got basically 4.7 megawatts worth of power sitting around available for us. That's a way off. That's a way off. We just put one of those in. I could technically build more of those. That's a way off. That's a way off. That's a way off. That's a decent way off. That's actually not that far off, but that's coming up pretty quickly. Although it doesn't necessarily need silk, right? We need silk, produces silk. Presumably, I think that you make fabric out of silk, right? So you make the silk generator, you can make fabric out of silk, so then fabric becomes renewable instead of having something you have to find at crash sites. Until we get to outdoor farms, I don't think we've got any really new plant stuff. Butterfly farm outside, 3.25k plants. That's quite a way off. So I suppose we're kind of at explore stage again. Suppose we can try to take the vehicle for a spin this time to take advantage of all this carrying capacity and the fact that when we're in the vehicle we have infinite oxygen. See how well it all terrains through lake. Not that bad. I wonder if anything's changed in here. Got what effectively amounts to veggie tubes. Are working. I'll need to assemble those. There's the power plant. So there will be more to explore in here. At some point we'll also come back for those, but we haven't got the deconstructor yet for that. I suspect we get the deconstructor from the sort of circuitry chips. We just haven't gotten lucky enough to find what we need. Don't think I really need that much iron, but we're taking it with us because I can. The wonders of having lots of storage. We do have a sort of guide to tell us to explore 1565, 2500, right? So, you know, there is something up here to find. See if we get the vehicle back up that slope. That's not the right way down. Well, at least not I want to take the vehicle that way. I suppose with the trunk full, I should probably be taking it back to base, emptying the trunk out. Because I can only basically carry an inventory with this stuff at this point. That's not the way to go. Let's see. Yep, we've unstuck the vehicle. I have to say, the attempt for the vehicle to sort of rewrite the camera pointing the forward direction when you're driving, a little disorienting if you're used to like driving from third person in other games, because it keeps trying to drag it to looking forward, and you're always like, I want to look that way, I want to look this way. I don't really need to look where I'm going that much, and I'm fine with seeing where I'm going in the peripheral vision, and the game insists that I do a little bit more to look in the right direction. We haven't got the explosives for that yet. That's definitely a place we can explore when we get explosives. Oh, we've got some trees growing around these places. These lakes were pretty barren the last time we were up here. Leave any interesting stuff in my air box here. Not particularly interesting, but we'll probably take most of it. See if anything's changed inside this one. This one was flooded, so I could see with all the plant life being around, stuff coming inside. This one will open up when we get power cores to do that stuff. Oh, there's technical debris there. Yeah, at some point probably will be deconstructible. I suppose I may have disassembled the secret wall in here already. And then we can tell there's debris beyond that door. I think that's the door, one of the doors that opens when the power gets brought back online. I'm going to fill my inventory up with the interesting stuff here. I'm going to take our very full truck and very full me back to base. Okay. Inventory's full. I see a big red button at the back of the vehicle, and now I'm wondering what the big red button does. Well, it's not exactly red, it's a bit of an orange button. Big orange button in the back of the vehicle. Might try to figure that out when we get back to base. Okay. I think we need to build more storage space. I'm gonna go upstairs and build some storage space. And short some iron. All the things to be short of. I want to build some storage space. Helps with dealing with some of the inventory below. And while we were out, we unlocked something. What was that? I think we unlocked something. Oh, it might have been the butterfly lover. No, that wasn't it. And we did the tree spray, so that's not it. I don't know. Felt like we unlocked something while we were out and about, but can't seem to find it now. I'm looking for it. I think we're gonna need even more storage. Let's put more lockers out. Here we go. So we've emptied our vehicle, ready for its next trip out to explore. Yeah, we can get more water by just going over to the beach and drinking some. So let's do that. I think that area has been, now that the trees and stuff have grown enough, cut through into a new biome. So let's go see which location that actually takes us to. I don't think that's going to be navigatable by the vehicle, so we're going to leave the vehicle back at base. Yeah, definitely navigatable by human. Well, at least jetpack wearing human. And that comes out into this area, which overlooks I think the pulsar biome we were in before over there. Take the stuff out of there, disassemble you. Yeah, I suppose it makes sense to probably get enough to build the safety bunker. Something goes wrong and I need air. Safety auction bunker. I just need one more piece of iron. Have the bits on hand for that. Little cave behind the waterfall. It's got some interesting somethings here. Not sure what that's supposed to be. What was supposed to be a fun and relaxing time turned into a nightmare. 5-week space cruise across the lesser-known parts of the universe. Unfortunately, our stupid crew was not able to respond to a seemingly minor incident, and here we are, burying the few bodies we were able to retrieve from the burning wreck. What will be happening to us now will most certainly be similar. We are heading west. Let's see how long we can survive. I would say a few days at most. From Sinanti 2 survivors, at least for now. Okay. Yeah, this is a blueprint ship. Spacesuits, we'll leave that there. A whole bunch of tier 1 stuff. I'm gonna leave that there. That doesn't help me, and I think that was randomly generated. That's a bit more up my alley for useful stuff. And I think I'll put a little auction box here so we can breathe. Take our time. Plus, apparently those are a bunch of graves. Is that what I think I worked out there looking at them? If you ever want to come back and look at the graveyard, we can come back and look at the graveyard. Yeah, presumably implies there is a crash somewhere nearby that those guys survived. And we're headed west, and they were heading this direction, roughly speaking. Oh, there's the crash. That might have been the crash that they came from. The game's decided apparently I need more pulsar quartz. Where did that crash? Is that the broken lump? Doesn't look quite right. Yeah, I didn't see where that crashed because I wasn't looking at it at the time. I don't see anything glowing. It maybe didn't land in a walkable position. It's a possibility. Okay, let's try to find what I need to make this next air bunker. I need another piece of iron. I need a piece of silicon. There we go. Didn't quite swim. I guess it actually landed on the water somewhere. Doesn't look like it. So a quick air bunker in here. We're going to go in this crash. Assume it's the crash associated with the graveyard we just found. Thematic in distance. Yeah, that would be thematic in distance. West somewhere. Into the ship. And we're mostly looking for chips to decode. If we can get so lucky. So mostly looking for the smaller boxes, if I can. Because the little ones always have chips in them. The big ones can have, like, anything in them. Usually don't have chips in them, which is what we're looking for. That chip. Apparently I didn't do... Well, I know I didn't do a very good job of clearing the inventory because we just came from a different site than you did, right? Okay, let's get back to my box. This is our box, and we'll put a storage chest in there. We can always come running down here. Or try to find a way down here with the rover if I loot too much stuff. This is where we were. I will finish looting you so we can disassemble you so we don't check you later. Disassemble you, so we don't check you later. We have the ability to disassemble those, that's a way to go. This is a pretty big wreck. Again, we're looking for the little boxes if we can find them. The big blue ones I'm going to leave alone for the moment. Because if I'm going to loot all of those, I probably want to bring the rover over. So we want to figure out a way to get the rover down before we bother. In case waiting allows the loot quality to improve. Another one we on top. Okay, so I think we've mostly explored. Yeah, so at this point I think we're on blue chests stuff. I'm happy with our initial haul. We got 3 blue microchips to take back to the ship. We got a couple of rocket engines, a couple of uranium rods. We'll take the explosive powder, the osmium, the fertilizer. Yeah, we'll take that. And I'll leave the iron here. Actually, if I'm leaving the iron here, we can take the seeds as well and the zeolite. Okay, let's head back to the base. See if we can get those chips decoded. Flying a slightly different way around to figure out if there's potentially a better way to get the rover around. Rover has obviously more carrying capacity. Might have been super alloy, just flew past. Not that I need super alloy right now. There's a way up here. Not sure if you're supposed to come up here, although it's got sprinkling of super alloy, so maybe it's trying to convince you to come up here. Although I think that's as far up as you were really meant to go, although more super alloy, so maybe not. Okay. That's a chest. So I gotta remember there's a chest up here. I don't have the inventory space to loot that chest. Just gotta remember it's up here. It has been a while since we've seen it rain in-game. Yeah, we can definitely see the terraform process is proceeding. Nice tick. Because our ability to go without air is increasing. Because the air is getting more and more appropriate for breathing. Okay, complete the flight back. Apparently a base leads. Tier 3 GPS satellite. Tier 2 lights. Tier 2 deconstruction. So that was one of the things we were looking for, was the deconstruction. And all I'm missing for that is the methane cartridge. So now I can go scrap those boards. Scrapping the boards. Give me computer chips. There was something I needed a computer chip for. The trade space rocket. Okay, I should really bring the episode to close, but I'm gonna go get some... I'm gonna go salvage some computer boards so we can go build that. You can see what our trade options are. And we got a silk generator as a build option as well. Presumably that needs silkworm, although silkworm shouldn't be too hard to make. Okay, where's that advanced salvage? I know the ship has some. This one maybe didn't have a lot, but I think it had some. There we go. 3 circuit boards. I know there's more in there, I just came for the 3. We know what we're using the first 3 for, we're not knowing what we're using the rest of them for at the moment. I think every, when we get robots, I think every robot requires a circuit board, so... Eventually we'll be needing a lot. Right now we only really need 3. And a super alloy rod. That shouldn't be too hard to get. 8 pieces of super alloy and an aluminum. Although I'm going to clear the inventory out to fit that. I want to put the uranium rod away to make the space, to make the super alloy rod. Forgetting that I needed the uranium rod for what I'm trying to build. And the rocket engine. I need the rocket engine for what I was going to build. There we go. There we go, so we got a trade rocket. Unlock achievement, space trading. Build a space trading rocket. So I've got 0 Terra tokens, and I've got the rocket currently has 0 inventory value. So things that we have valuable for export are uranium rods, iridium rods, super alloy rods, high quality food, rocket engines, bacteria samples, and cookies. And these are all the things we can buy, and how expensive some of them are. Some of them, like the butterfly lava, are quite valuable. We're trying to terraform the planet faster. Tier 2 locker storage, where you really need to store a bunch of stuff in a small amount of space, yes. Fuses, if I didn't have enough fuses. Some customizable stuff. Wheat seeds and coca seeds. Probably hold off on trying to buy those. See if we can find them on the planet. Presumably you need both of those to make cookies, which you can then sell. Bacteria samples we can sell, engines we can sell. Technically, if we don't need uranium or iridium, we can technically sell off those as well. Yeah, so we can shove stuff in the rocket, quite a bit in the rocket, and then go ahead and try to generate revenue for buying some of the upgrade stuff, basically. Okay, so we got that built. We didn't necessarily need that built, because obviously we're broke, and what it will let us sell it aren't really things we want to sell yet. If we got 3 silkworms, we can make silk. But unless silk has value in trade, I don't think we need the fabric yet, and I think that's what it's going to get turned into. Alright, we've only got 7 valuable items for trade. That might change. We might get more valuable items as time goes on, but well, that's what we've got. Yeah. So I think we're going to go over kind of our state of affairs here before we bring this recording and the stream to a close. We're about halfway to teleporter. Teleporter by itself I don't think is going to be super valuable. We're about a third of the way to the tree spreader. That might be a little bit more valuable. Oh, apparently we have to unlock osmium rod before we can sell it, because that has a trade value. We're like 1/10 of the way to the water life collector. We're going to need that for early animals. We're about half of the way to tier T2 machine optimizer. This might technically allow us to get away with a few fewer optimizers for certain things, and or put more fuses in a given area. And we're about halfway there. About 1/5 of the way there to the ore extractor. This will allow us to basically just select which ore we're getting from each one. So if I want, I don't have to worry about them jamming up on things that we don't want. We just go by and pick up what we want from the one we want to pick it up from. We're about 1/10 of the way to tier 5 heater. That would help with getting heat done, although we maybe don't need that help. We're pretty close to the end, at which point heat's just more terraforming rating for pushing to, if we come all the way to here, the end, the interplanetary travel rocket. But I suppose an extra heater level would not hurt, right? Plants. We're on our way to the next butterfly larva. But unless it's a significantly better butterfly larva or an easier recipe or something like that, I'm not super interested in that. Really interested in the butterfly farm, but we're like 1/5 of the way there. And I don't necessarily got a good way to raise plant income. We got the silk generator. Oh, okay, so assuming that you turn the silk into fabric, once we unlock fabric, and we're not far off from that, we'll be able to export the fabric. Right, so maybe when we get the bots going, we can set the bots farming silk to turn into fabric, and then export the fabric to have stuff to buy. We're pretty far off from the bots, I think, as well. But and yeah, mostly. Actually, interesting thing, most of what the fish activates and the animals activate early on is actually better sources of fish. Oh, 7.8 tons of animals gets us the lerma seeds, so we have 50 lerma seeds at that point. And the ability to make Carmen lava and stuff like that. Okay. But yeah, I think things are going well. This is the rate that we're sort of terraforming at. We're up to 13.41. We're about 22.5% oxygen-wise. That's the split on the biomass. Oh, the launch situation is screen. Yes. We do have a spare rocket. Maybe early next one, we'll go ahead and launch another magnetic protection rocket to get a bit more pressure coming. That'll triple the, or 50% increase the pressure. And I think we're going to need more than that, really, realistically, to get up to Tier 3 pressure in a reasonable amount of time. And there's the next drill. So more biomass moves us towards the next drill. Although that's a lot of biomass. So that's what we got to work on. And the next one is probably more biomass. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is where we're going to bring this part to a close and this stream. If you're watching on Twitch, let me go over the schedule for the next couple days so that you can know what's going to be streamed over the next couple days. Today was Planet Crafter. We will be streaming again tomorrow. It will be Terra Invicta. Again, it will be a long stream. I'm trying to sort of... one of my family members wants me to go help them move stuff. So moving stuff between houses in a different state. So I'm going to be gone for about a week, apparently. So I'm trying to pre-record stuff for that week. That's why we're doing long streams, to try to sort of get some space so that YouTube has content while I'm away. So today was Planet Crafter. Tomorrow is going to be Terra Invicta. It's going to be a long stream. Monday is going to be Darkest Dungeon. Also, again, still going to be a longer stream. I don't necessarily know how quickly we're going to get done with Darkest Dungeon. We got 4 more champion tier bosses to go, and then we got the Darkest Dungeon, so we're looking at least 12 delves into various dungeons, I'm thinking. 1 for each of the bosses, 1 for each of the times in the Darkest Dungeon. And then we gotta get those bosses spawned, so that's at least another 4 on top of that. It's potentially that we'll get it done with that long stream. It's unlikely. Tuesday, we're going to be back doing Songs of 6. Tuesday is going to be a long stream. Wednesday was when we're going to be back doing Planet Crafter. That will probably be the last stream of Planet Crafter before I go on break. Again, still be a long stream. I'm going to be gone for a week, so I basically need to record an extra 6 episodes before I leave. Thursday will be Terra Invicta. Again, I think that'll be the last stream of Terra Invicta before I leave. I'm not sure if I'm leaving on Friday or on Saturday. I gotta figure out exactly the day we're moving, when we're leaving. But it's basically gonna be the four games that we've been recording until we finish them, or until I leave for break. Is gonna be the cycle, right? So, Planet Crafter today, Terra Invicta tomorrow, Darkest Dungeon Monday, Songs of 6 Tuesday, then Planet Crafter, Darkest Dungeon. Oh no, I gotta update Thursday. Gotta update Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But basically, we're going to be doing long streams to try to get a bit ahead. So yeah, I hope everyone has been enjoying. If you're watching live on Twitch, now's your probably your last opportunity to leave a comment while the stream is live. If you're watching later on the Twitch VOD, feel free to hop to the YouTube channel and leave comments over there. If you're watching later on the Twitch VOD, do remember at this point you're probably going to be ahead of YouTube because we're recording ahead. The intent is still to have everything uploaded to YouTube before it does come off of Twitch VODs. If you're watching this live on YouTube, by the time you're watching this live on YouTube, the next part should have probably already been streamed and should still be up on Twitch if you can't wait for it to be uploaded to YouTube. And vice versa. If you have missed earlier parts and you want to catch earlier parts, they should be uploaded to YouTube, whether you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube. The description in YouTube should also have a link to the playlist so you can watch them in order. Or if you want to watch other earlier parts, that should help you find the earlier parts. So with that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and or stream, and bye for now.